What's up everybody, welcome back. Today we are taking a closer look at the biggest fashion trends for Spring-Summer 2022. Finally this season physical shows are back in the business. Seems like fashion industry is slowly but surely going back to normal. Alright, so how will men dress for upcoming Spring-Summer season? Now, as you may remember, last Spring-Summer was all about freedom and hope with its brightly colored pieces. This fall-winter has been a season of experimentation. Well, upcoming Spring-Summer blends these two together. We will see many similar trends still in the game. What's different here is that designers added spirit of celebration to their collection. This probably as a reconnect with the social life we've been missing out for the past 2 years because of global pandemic. So we will see lots of vibrant colors and party wear looks. Also this season designers put big accent on genderless fashion. For instance, we will see men's skirts and Skorts. Well, upcoming Spring-Summer is going to be full of body bearing and stripped down elements. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Cutouts are one of the most daring and exciting trends of Spring-Summer 22. Once associated with nights at the club and ravers, the concept of cutouts has been recently revisited and reinvented. On the runways, cutouts look many different shapes and sizes. Designers use cutouts as a fashion statement, as a way to convey a certain message. At Burberry, Riccardo Tisci showed this trend on sleeveless tops. These two asymmetrical cutouts gave this look feeling of danger/desire, something like raw but elegant vibes. At D Squared, Dean and Dan showed circular shaped cutouts on distressed knitwear. Looked like cutouts were also a distressed element of the sweater. Overall cutouts gave these slouchy looks grungy but luxe vibes. At Rick Owens, where models walked the shoreline, we saw this trend expressed in panel-slashed bodysuit that was worn under baggy denim pants and skirt shorts. Last but not least, Glenn Martins of Y Project displays this trend as the braided knits that tangle at the neckline and leaving several openings around the neck. Also, we saw cutouts in the collaboration pieces of Y Project with Italian sportswear brand Fila. Fun thing here is that you can actually choose what exactly you wanna put your head within it. Upcoming Spring-Summer is all about sleeveless tops. We've been seeing this trend for a while now. As you remember, 2021 was all about vests and sweater vests. This same trend gets even bigger and stronger for 2022. Designers complement this trend with sleeveless tees, sleeveless blazers, coats, etc. Sleeveless game was at its strongest at Burberry, where Riccardo Tisci dedicated his whole menswear collection to the power of an exposed bicep. He hacked the sleeves of outerwear and resculpted it into warrior form. These warrior/combat vibes were accentuated by details like chest plate prints. Other interesting looks included ones with sleeveless blazers and shirts. All these looks together with this urban desert landscape felt something raw, something like deconstructed but refined. Looking at Dolce & Gabbana, we see this sleeveless trend in celebration mode. Models wore sleeveless tee covered with glitter and shiny crystals. At Dior, Kim Jones displayed round neck sweater vests emblazoned with jack-oblique motif. Knit vests were styled solo with wide leg pants. At D Squared, models wore checked sleeveless shirts paired with nylon cargo pants and ankle boots. In addition, we saw black sleeveless blazers worn over a naked body. Similar to D Squared, we saw sleeveless blazers at Givenchy show, here paired with an orange sleeveless tee and styled with chunky crystal necklaces. At Etro, V-neck sleeveless tops are cut at both sides. Undoubtedly, these openings are spot on for Spring-Summer. Rick Owens jumps on this trend with sleeveless outerwear. Sleeves are hacked off. However, the shoulder part is retained intact. Lastly, at Versace, we saw stunning sleeveless suits in green and black color. Pink was splashed all over Spring-Summer 22 runways. You may already seen many celebrities embracing this color trend. Choice of shades are dusty pink, salmon and rose pink. Whether you love or hate this statement color, you better find your perfect pink that ideally suits your style, because pink remains at the top of the list of Spring-Summer 22 colors. Undoubtedly, pink game was at its finest at Dior. Models wore head-to-toe pink outfits and walked on Western/Texas-inspired set, which was decorated with huge roses, cacti, and mushrooms. Actually, this collection is a collaboration between Kim Jones of Dior and rapper Travis Scott. At Burberry, we saw pink warriors, one of them wearing crazy chest plate, looking like a bullet-proof vest. Pink game was also quite strong at Gucci, where Alessandro Michele pulled off this fabulous Spring 22 show. Models walked the runway with all pink outfits with different shades. Actually, this show took place on Hollywood Boulevard, with its neon lights and Walk of Stars. It's been almost 2 years since the global pandemic and lockdowns stole our social life. Not surprisingly, our closets are full of PJs and loungewear. Designers say big no to this with Spring-Summer 22 collection. Now that lockdowns are somewhat over and parties are coming back, designers want us to dress up properly and celebrate. So now it's the time to bring out once again your inner night owl and embrace party wear, such as bright and bold glitter pieces, silky shirts, metallic pants, anything actually ultra shiny would serve the purpose. Party wear trend was the biggest at Dolce & Gabbana. Domenico and Stefano called this celebration of light. They said, "We are coming out of a dark time," meaning the pandemic, and we want light. Indeed, the runway looked like the multicolored cathedrals of lights you will find during the nighttime festivals. Not surprisingly, shiny party suits were the order of the day. Most of the looks on the runways were covered with glitter and shiny crystals. The culmination of the party wear trend was undoubtedly the amazing 1000-color crystal suit. Similar to Dolce & Gabbana, party wear game was strong at Etro. Kin Etro displayed celebration looks with party shirts and metallic pants. Looking at the landscape and surroundings, models looked much like party nomads on their party quest. Another great party wear influenced looks we saw at Tom Ford. Designer embraces this trend. He's ready for the good times to start rolling again. Models walked the runway with shiny tuxedos with the signature details of the collection. Gold necklaces were worn over unbuttoned shirts and knotted at the navel. Last but not least, Alessandro Michele embraces celebration spirit at Gucci's Love Parade fashion show. We saw party wear trend in the spirit of Hollywood glam and Americanized fashion. Undoubtedly some of the finest work by Alessandro Michele. After celebration and parties, we have also come down phase. Designers express this with black tailoring. So after a colorful revival of last spring-summer, fashion, specifically classic tailoring, goes back to a pragmatic and high-drama color black. The popularity of black tailoring can be interpreted as a response from designers to the damages caused by global pandemic. It means they remember all the bad times. This trend flourished at Balenciaga's red carpet show, where Demna Gvasalia put out a series of head-to-toe black outfits, looking much like funeral tailoring. Fun thing here is that actual celebrities are posing as models. At Dior, Kim Jones sent out inky black tailored looks to open the show. Models wore tailored overcoats and suits. Pink glasses on black suits were absolutely spot on. At Dolce & Gabbana, models walked the runway with perfectly cut black suits. Interesting styling details on the later two looks. Suits are worn without a shirt or tie. At Saint Laurent, Anthony Vaccarello relied on his signature minimalist aesthetic, easy and effective. For a long time, cardigans were considered practical rather than stylish and fashionable piece. The sporting image of cardigans has been long gone. Cardigans emerged as a big thing in fall-winter 2020. Since then, it's been around as a micro-trend. For spring-summer, cardigans come back strong with new colors and cuts and become an indispensable item in the presentations of designers, also in the wardrobe of fashion celebrities and influencers. Cardigans can highlight almost any outfit and are simply extremely easy to match with almost any clothing style. For spring-summer, we see medium to long length cardigans with vintage accent. At Prada, models wore cardigans over romper suits with turned-up short hems. At Hermes, we saw colorful heavy-knit cardigans, one in pink mustard color and another one in gray turquoise color. Skirts are no longer women's only item. Designers push the boundaries by introducing and experimenting with men's skirts. Actually, this trend started during Fall/Winter 21 by Louis Vuitton, J.W. Anderson and Burberry. The same trend stays in the game for Spring/Summer 22 and becomes even bigger by adding skirts to the category. Skirts are something much like half short and half skirt. This trend was the biggest at Prada, showing a wide array of skirts with a 60s feel. Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons agreed that men should have as much freedom to bare their legs, especially after the months of confinement we all endured. It's like reconnecting to the nature, feeling alive in the world again. Looking at Raf Simons' own collection, he experimented and reinvented genderless dressing. Models wore corporate skirt suits. With this, designer tried to picture genderless dressing unfolding in the real world, for instance in the offices of Wall Street. In addition to suit skirts, we saw skirts similar to hospital gowns, something much like patients would wear. Other type skirts we saw were almost tribal in their uniformity. This collection was something much like a compelling study of how genderless dress code could evolve in a real world. At Dries Van Noten, men's skirts take different forms. Similar to Prada, models wore skirts, half short, half skirts, but in this case, lengthier, finishing at the knee. Rick Owens jumps on this trend with gown-like tunics in somewhat off-white color, a highly unusual hue for Owens, as was much of the collection that followed. At Givenchy, models wore skirts over pants, paired with masculine heels. Last but not least, at Burberry, we saw somewhat masculine presentation of men's skirts. Models wore knee-length skirts over shorts. Varsity jackets. Another trend from Fall/Winter is here to stay. Varsity jackets are often worn by athletes from high school football and rugby teams. Varsity jackets look almost identical to bomber jackets. Only difference is that varsity jackets have a button closure and stripes on the collar, cuffs and waistband. Dior jumps on this trend by showing two looks. Varsity jackets had the letter D emblazoned. That stands obviously for Dior. Because of this, varsity jackets were originally called Letterman jackets. At Dolce & Gabbana, the patterns on varsity jackets were insane, something much like a mixture of abstract and torn newspaper art. At Burberry, models wore leather varsity jackets, both sleeveless and angular, with interesting detail such as custom button closure on top of zipper. For upcoming spring/summer, designers break on through to the other side. Runways were packed with psychedelic art in the form of garish patterns as well as color bleed rainbow patterns. Obviously, designers are offering fashion as a vehicle of escapism. At Dolce & Gabbana, Domenico and Stefano displayed garments with patterns and prints similar to the actual runway that looked like the multicolored cathedrals of lights. According to the designers, they tried to recreate the feeling of Italian summer nights. Not surprisingly, we saw many radiant patterns as well as colorful psychedelic squares. At Givenchy, models walked the runway with trippy, semi-abstract prints. On this, Matthew Williams collaborated with New York artist John Smith and incorporated his paintings into his collection. Turns out Smith's work helped push Williams out of his comfort zone of hard and edgy blacks. Dries Van Noten presents his collection from his base in Antwerp. He took the personal photos from phone camera rolls belonging to the Dries Van Noten team and collaged them together. The prints resulting from this collage looked much like big colorful stains and psychedelic art. The experience of blurred photography of night scenes of Antwerp brings imagery to a trippy, more abstract and universal dimension. No doubt this trippy art had carried an overall sense of optimism, reminders of what's awaiting us in the not-so-distant future, when the pandemic is over and we once again are able to enjoy life. Leather, another trend from fall-winter, is here to stay. This season, this trend gets even bigger and more popular. Because there is a growing focus on buying better rather than more, designers seem to embrace this less is more approach. At Prada, collection highlights included biker jackets in many different colors. Models walked the set with coral decorated derby shoes and black socks pulled up high. Biker jackets were paired with Skorts and bucket hats, which included a chin strap as well as an elongated back. At Balenciaga, Demna Gvasalia displayed a wide array of looks with leather. Models posed in oversized leather jackets. The collection was done almost in entirely black, a perfect contrast against the floor to backdrop red. Similar to Balenciaga, leather was an important part of N. Demule Mr. Show. This collection was kind of a turning point for the brand, as it started a new page with a new owner. The brand also parted ways with longtime creative director Sébastien Mounier. At Balmain, we saw insane head-to-toe leather outfits. This collection was really special to Olivier Rousteing because he was celebrating a full decade at Balmain. It's impressive, especially when you consider what he's accomplished during this time. At Burberry, in addition to leather varsity jackets, which we already discussed, we saw sleeveless head-to-toe leather outfits, styled strictly in black color. At Dolce & Gabbana, we saw cropped, boxy leather jacket with massive DNG logo on front. Ferragamo displays a colorful spin of leather trend. Models wore long leather overcoat and oversized leather shirt. Last but not least, Versace jumps on this trend with beautiful leather blazers, one in black and another in green color. As summers are getting hotter each year thanks to climate change, designers shift their focus on oversized floaty shirts to keep us cool in the heat. Roomy shirts also a great response to all that lockdown weight we've been steadily gaining. At Dior, we saw this trend as a series of oversized, easy, breathy white shirts. These shirts were actually hand painted by an artist, George Kondo. According to Dior, these shirts will be auctioned off to raise money for scholarships for a future generation of designers. Dries Van Noten embraces this trend with short-sleeved printed coordinates and long-sleeved tunic shirts. These looks portraying an optimistic feeling and the hope of the full transition into pre-pandemic mode, such as, for instance, lots of travel and careless summer nights. Actually, the backgrounds are stills and moving images of iconic locations in Antwerp. At Bottega, we saw oversized shirts as a part of monochromatic outfits with baggy silhouettes. These looks had a big influence of American workwear. Actually, the show took place in Detroit, and it was the first time in a while that the brand opted for a live runway show without any veil of secrecy. Last time it took place in Berghain Club in Berlin. Looking at this squared, shirts are checkered, worn open over a tee. Other ones are in micro floral prints. Interesting styling details here. Shirts are worn over arm warmers. At Givenchy, we saw oversized shirts layered over shirts. And of course, we can't skip this trend without checking Raf Simons' genderless collection, where models wore oversized shirts over skirts. Shirt cuffs looked massively oversized. Probably you spotted also a skeleton bracelet on the model's arm. This skeletal hand is on its way to becoming a brand archetype. Raf said he considers them like a brand symbol, like Margiela has a tubby boot. At Zegna, models wore oversized shirts as part of coordinate separates in monochromatic tones. To me, this collection looked like a continuation of the previous one. Overall vibe was certainly of workwear, with all these voluminous cuts and shapes. Last but not least, this trend was spotted also on Gucci's La Parade, where models walked the runway dressed in short-sleeved oversized shirts. Prints on the shirts were inspired by LA, where the show was actually held. This season, almost every major designer put relaxed tailoring at the heart of their collections. This is not surprising given the recent lockdowns and home office situation. Even though we are slowly going back to offices and normal work lives, nobody wants to wear formal tailoring. Now even the most conservative workplaces are beginning to relax their office dress codes. Because of these developments, Menswear designers have entirely rethought their approach and shifted their accent to the new kind of tailoring, which is more fit to the modern work culture. Designers came up with easy-wearing suits that can be worn at home office on the sofa, also in the office for a quick pop. This spirit is clearly seen at Saint Laurent. Anthony Vaccarello blends this trend perfectly with Saint Laurent signature slender and elegant silhouettes. At Zegna, we saw three-button workwear-inspired suits, undoubtedly highly versatile pieces that can be worn pretty much anywhere. Other looks included kimono-style black suits, highly comfortable and stylish pieces, absolute must-haves for spring-summer if you like the style and wanna stand out. And Demoulet Mister sent out slouchy suits styled with bowler hats and leather straps. Well, if you wanna learn more about this collection, go ahead and check out my recent video. I review the menswear part of this collection in detail. At Balmain, we saw this trend in slightly different context. Suits here are chill, but also luxe. Models wore double-breasted suits. Other ones included kimono-style suits. Fendi breaks boundaries with this trend and gives men a sense of freedom. Silvia Venturini sent out two-piece suits that were worn over crop tops. Other looks included suits with a cropped jacket, showing model's torso half naked. Isabel Marant shows two-piece suits that can actually be worn on the beach. Versace embraces this trend with suits in burgundy and green color. Other looks included suits with flower prints. This season, green is having its moment. We see many menswear designers embrace this hue, which makes total sense because it's a color of nature and freedom. Green closely mirrors spring and the great outdoors, such as flowers, grass, leaves, etc. This trend was the biggest at Zegna. The runway was packed with a wide array of green monochromatic outfits. Undoubtedly, green is a highly versatile color. On the one hand, it adapts perfectly to a monochromatic look. On the other hand, it can also provide the perfect pop of color for those who are used to dressing in muted tones. Similar to Zegna, green game was strong at Bottega. Models wore coordinate separates in monochromatic tones, highly influenced by sportswear and workwear. As you may already know, Daniel Lee left Bottega quite recently. His replacement is Matthew Blazy, right-hand man of Lee, who has been with the brand since 2020. At Dior, models wore cactus green outfits, some of them head-to-toe green and others paired with brown pants. That was not surprising given the Western and Texas-inspired landscape and given the collaboration with Houston rapper Travis Scott. Last but not least, Versace sends out an array of outfits in different shades of green. The interesting ones included tailored suit in lime green. Bermuda shorts for spring-summer, nothing groundbreaking. Just like last spring-summer, longer and wider shorts are still in the game. At Dior, we saw tailored shorts that finish just above the knee. You probably spotted details such as side pockets that go longer than actual length of the shorts. Other types included sportswear-inspired Bermuda shorts, studded with cowboy-like metal buttons down the side. At Demoulet Mister, Bermuda shorts go even longer, completely cover the knee. Models wore leggings underneath, styled with a pair of sneakers. Din & Dan of D-Squared jumps on the trend with oversized Bermuda shorts, with lengths above the knee. Styling details that stood out included leg warmers. All Bermuda shorts here are styled with leg warmers and pair of leather boots. At Giorgio Armani, we saw two types of Bermuda shorts. First one, oversized Bermudas with lengths slightly lower than knee. Another type includes Bermuda shorts with turned-up hems. Similar to Giorgio Armani, we see Bermuda shorts styled in similar fashion at Isabel Marant. Seems like Bermudas with rolled-up hems are like a thing this season. At Hermes, Bermuda shorts stood out with styling details such as French tuck and rope belt, and of course socks picking over Chelsea boots. Looking at Lanvin, models wore elongated Bermudas with lengths of the shorts finishing below the knee. Shorts were teamed with shirts and suit jackets. Official footwear of upcoming spring-summer are sandals and flip-flops. As we are slowly coming out of lengthy lockdowns, it's time to ditch slippers and go for a pair of sandals. Not surprisingly, the runways were populated with sandals and flip-flops in many different styles. At Balmain, we saw luxurious sandals. They were displayed in black and white colors and looked quite chunky. At Dolce & Gabbana, we saw party-wear sandals and flip-flops. These bad boys were covered with crystals and looked like ones you could wear to a party. At Dries Van Noten, models wore two types of sandals. First one, flat minimalist sandals, and second one, puffer version with two straps. Fendi offers to its rich customers luxe sandals with heel straps. Colors were ranging from white to green and brown. At Ferragamo, models walk the show with minimalist sandals. Great choice for spring-summer cause they have thin sole and are ultra lightweight. Giorgio Armani jumps on this trend with gladiator sandals, which in my opinion are must-have sandals for the upcoming spring-summer. Last but not least, Moschino hits us with colorful version of sandals with heel straps. Alright, so that was it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the trends and got something out of it. Go ahead and drop me a line in the comments below. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Peace.